Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFOL Inspirations for Your Life. I'm glad that you've decided to join me. It is May 25th, 2024. It's Saturday evening, and we're ready to kick off with a brand new master topic here on IFOL Inspirations for Your Life. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to visit believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Whether you're here at 11:30 at night, 11:30 in the morning, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., doesn't really matter. Thank you so much for being here. Our master topic, starting off today with the entire week, is embracing the power of stop and start. We're on basically we're on series 3, and we are on show 22, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into what the granular topic is for tonight, and that is the power of positive transformation, series 3, show 22, episode 1. So the first thing I want to talk about is stopping negative habits, starting positive ones. So what does that mean? Well, a lot of times people get stuck because they're in a habit, but habits can be good and they can be bad. And so when a habit is counterproductive or preventing you from achieving the promises or the aspirations you want, that habit is bad. See, some people think habits are always bad. They're not. Some habits are good. Like, for example, study habits are good habits. Not procrastinating is a good habit, right? These are all good habits. So, what are some examples? I guess examples of good habits we should have. And so there are a lot of good habits. So one good habit I can share with you is start small, move obstacles, create balance, practice daily meditation. We'll get into some of these. Spend time outdoors, read thoughtful books, develop a healthy sleep routine, express gratitude, pick up a hobby, smile. Okay, and there are a lot of others. Try right brain activities, speak kindly, exercise, recite positive affirmations, eat a balanced diet. These are just some of them, okay? So let's jump into the next part, which is identifying and ceasing destructive patterns. So recognize your triggers, understand what triggers your negative habits, whether it's a stress, a boredom, a social pressure. Identify what these triggers are, and that's the first step to stopping the cycle. So a lot of times you might be talking with a friend, a colleague, or a significant other, and you might notice that that person like kind of jumps at you. What was a reason for it? Maybe there's something you said that triggered them. That doesn't mean you're right or they're wrong or vice versa. But if you can understand what triggers someone, kind of like think of it like a cold, or it could be any other type of germ or disease. When we know what triggers something, we want to avoid that. So if somebody's allergic, let's say, to peanut butter. So we don't want to bring them anywhere near nuts or peanut butter because that could cause adverse effects on allergies, but it also could cause adverse effects on their health and might affect their life. So understanding a trigger is something that you might be consciously aware of or not aware of, and it causes you to go into a tailspin or causes you to go into a certain state. For example, you can be triggered just because there's negative energy in the room. You could be triggered because somebody didn't smile at you. I mean, there's lots of triggers. You could be triggered because somebody, instead of giving you constructive feedback, actually yelled at you, right? So, what is it that causes destructive patterns in your life? Find out what it is, replace it. Don't just eliminate it. When you stop a negative habit, replace it with a positive one. For example, for those of you that are going to hopefully stop smoking, if you're smoking, may replace it with a healthy jog. Every time you're going to light up, go for a jog. Or how about a swig of chewing gum? Not the tobacco kind, the regular kind of chewing gum. Maybe another habit for you is that you find yourself always getting stuck helping other people, and you never have time for yourself. So maybe when that happens, maybe what you need to do is instead of doing that, maybe you read a book, or maybe you meditate, right? So the important thing to know about triggers is that they happen all the time. And if we're not aware of them, then they can cause a big, big problem for everyone. That is the most important thing. So the next thing we have to do is we have to basically create new empowering habits. That is very, very key. Create new empowering habits. And we want to start small. Begin with small changes to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Small, consistent changes lead to lasting habits, is the most important thing. And set clear goals, intentions, or aspirations. Define what positive habits you want to cultivate and make them specific, make them measurable, make them achievable, make them relevant and time bound. Smart. So, smart just means specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. That's what smart means. And so, cultivating and empowering habits is something that might take you time because maybe you've been down this rabbit hole and you can't do things because other people are disempowering you. They're taking away your mojo. They're taking away your energy. They're taking away the chutzpah that you need to get something done. And so you have to learn to embrace the power of stop and start and to cultivate new empowering habits. We were just talking about this on the radio show that I had this evening at 9 p.m. on iHealth Radio Network. We're talking about the fact that Memorial Day is a time every year that we recognize our fallen heroes, what they've done for us, how we're able to have our freedom today. But we also talked about the fact that it's the start of summer. And it's also the time when it's almost at the point where we'll be halfway through the year, very close to like the June. And so then we can start recording or writing down or acknowledging what we want to achieve for the rest of the year. And so it's kind of like a halfway point. So it's a great way to start. You can start any day, but when you have like a halfway point or you have like a end of the year point, these are natural times when you can just stop and start things very easily and very simply. So why not take advantage of this and embrace these times and create some amazing things that you want to do? It could be a new hobby. It could be a new skill. It could be learning a new language. It could be becoming more healthy. It could be doing exercises. It could be being a better listener, being a better communicator. It could be somebody that, is going to do the things before somebody asks. These are all different things you can do to embrace the power of start and stop. So this Memorial Day, which is coming up this Monday, which is May 27th, I want you to think of a couple things maybe that you would like to do. Maybe things you want in your life. Like what's something you want in your life right now? Maybe you want more money. Maybe you want more peace. Maybe you want a relationship. Maybe you want to get more sleep, right? Think about what it is and then focus on that. And then you could say to yourself after, well, how can I take one step every day to get more sleep? Well, maybe it's going to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe it's, putting off a social activity so that you can catch up on your sleep. And you don't have to do it all the time. You might just want to just do it to get back in a routine because what you're going to find is that if you keep doing something over and over and over, it becomes a great habit, a great pattern. But when you're in a negative pattern and it robs you from your sleep, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so tired. I can't do anything. You have the power to change your life. Don't get disempowered, all right? Okay. So create a support system. This is the next thing I want to tell you. You can find an accountability partner. Share your aspirations with your friends, your family, or someone you can hold accountable. Maybe join a community. Engage with groups or online communities that share similar goals and can provide support and encouragement. For example, I'd like to run. Join a running group. I run with them and I feel accountable. Join a walking group. Go with them, feel accountable, talk about it. These are things you can do to embrace the power of stop and start. Stop doing something negative and start doing something positive. But before we can start something, a lot of times we have to stop something. So just like in life, when we want to do something, let's say we wanted to build a new house. First thing we have to do is we have to start thinking about what we want. We have to start looking for architects. We have to start on a design. We have to start thinking about what we like. We have to start with getting permits. We have to start with some type of foundation. We have to start with the framework. We have to start then with the electrical and the plumbing. We have to start with the sheetrocking. We have to start with the windows. We have to start with the windows actually come before the sheetrocking, but we have to start the windows. We have to start the roofing, right? And you get the idea. So as we start, Maybe if we're making a cake, how do we start making a cake? Well, we have to start with what kind of cake we want. We have to start with either getting the ingredients from our cabinet or going to the store and getting them. We have to start with our mise en place, assigning them around our counter so they're all ready to go, all pre-measured. And we have to start by getting out the mixer, etc. We have to start by putting the oven on. And we have to start then by folding in or doing the wet ingredients, then moving it aside, getting the dry ingredients, putting them together. Then we have to start by putting that into the bowl or the cup, pans, or whatever we're using. Then we have to start by putting it in the oven. Then we have to start the timer. And then we have to start taking it out. And then we have to start letting it cool. And then after we start, we have to start maybe icing it. And then after that, we have to start enjoying it, right? You get the idea? So starting is something that's really, really cool. So of course, we want to track your progress. That is very, very important. You can use a journal or an app to document your journey, track your progress, helps maintain motivation, and provides a clear picture of your improvement. And the other thing I want to tell you about, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you celebrate the small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate your small achievements to stay motivated and reinforce positive behavior. Everybody says, oh, I didn't reach the top of the mountain, Mount Vesuvius, or I didn't get the $1 billion. Okay, fine. But you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to become great. You don't have to be excellent to start, but you have to start to become excellent, right? So we learn from a lot of lessons, and tracking our progress is cool, and celebrating our wins is very cool. Knowing this motivates the mind to want to take on a new direction, to want to say, oh, you know what? I can do this. This is great. I definitely can do this. And if I can do this, that's great. But we have to realize that we've got to start. Now, Mr. Albert Einstein, okay, said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if we have a formula, we do it over and over again, we're going to get the same results. But if we do the same thing over and over again and we expect different results, well, that's insanity. So if we don't like what we've got to change what we're doing. If we don't like who we're becoming or where we're going, we have to change something. If we don't change something, nothing's going to change. If we're in a relationship, it's not working well, we have to change something about how we are in the relationship, whether it's our time, whether it's our attitude, whether it's our level of compassion, love, whether it's what we're doing, right? Whether it's how we're showing things, how we're demonstrating affection, right? Whether it's our listening power, we have to start and change, because if we don't change, then we're going to have exactly what we have, or it's going to get worse. Now, it's important that we develop a routine. A routine is nothing more than something you do over and over again. For example, you have lots of routines. When you get up in the morning, you actually have a routine to probably either have breakfast, or maybe you'll start out by getting undressed and doing exercises, taking a shower, getting shaved, taking a shower. And shaving, right? You might do that first. And so when you have that routine, it just happens. And then like you might, maybe you'll floss your teeth and maybe you'll brush your teeth. These are routines, but they happen almost unconsciously because you've done them so much that the body's like, oh, I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. Well, great. I'm glad you know what it is. Why don't you embrace it and go further with it? I think that's really what we're trying to say. All right, guys. The next thing I want to share with you is mindfulness and self-awareness. This is so simple, but a lot of people forget this because they just don't know. Practice mindfulness. Stay present in the moment and be mindful of your actions. Mindfulness can help you recognize when you're slipping back into negative patterns, and then pay attention to self-reflection. Reflect regularly on your progress and setbacks, and understand your journey helps in making necessary adjustments. Don't hit yourself over the head if something doesn't go the way you want. Say, okay, well, I had 4 cookies. I really should have 2, or I should have 1. Just make the adjustment, but don't hit yourself over the head. You're human, and cut yourself a little slack. And you'll start to realize as you're starting to be a friend to yourself, you'll say, you know what? All right, I can do that. I really got to try better next time. And that's the way you have to do it. The last topic I want to share under the power of stop and start is something really, really, really cool. And we'll have a whole week of this, but the power of transformative transformation is really where we're going, is to stay positive and patient. A lot of people in life, they become impatient. I think they become impatient because they think that if they get impatient, maybe things will just happen quickly. I got news for you. They actually happen slower the more impatient you are. Now, that sounds like something crazy, but it's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. So have some patience with yourself. That's it, guys. Have some patience with yourself and realize that life is a whole bunch of starts and a bunch of stops. So if we can embrace right now what a start is, what a stop is, and we understand that everything in life we do has to revolve around a start and a stop. Before we can start something new, we have to stop something old, or we have to stop the way we've done a habit and be cognizant of that. If we're not and we start something new, it's like the old is still in place, right? We have to replace the old behavior with something new, and it works well. If we just start something new and we don't stop the old, we have to give a space for the new behavior. And then we start to embrace that every day. You see, most people don't want to start and stop because they're afraid. They feel that, oh my gosh, if I stop, I might be able to start again. Or if I stop, I don't know where to start or what do I start with. So don't drive yourself crazy with this, because you will naturally flow into a rhythm. This is the truth. You will flow into a rhythm, but don't make yourself so uptight that you can't do it, because you can. When you start a car, the older way of starting a car was you turn the engine, kept going, and putting the engine, and finally the engine turned over, right? Now you use a smart button, you push it, and it starts. But the energy, your enthusiasm, your attitude, which is really what it's about, that's what affects whether you start or whether you stall. So what I want to tell you is, yes, you might start and stall, but the reason you stalled is because you didn't put enough thinking or planning into what you want to start. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been an amazing privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you this fantastic Saturday evening, May 25th, 2024. I hope that you'll definitely go back and watch this again and watch other episodes. You can learn more about me at believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. But I want to share something with you, friends. When you choose to do something new, realize that there is a behavior that needs to go or leave your life so you can build on something new. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your night and morning, because that's coming real soon. And let's all, ladies and gentlemen, do something really cool, which is this. Let's embrace the power of stop and start all week, because I've got so much more to share with you. Have yourself a fantastic evening, everyone. All right? Be well.